All right, sissy boys and girls, here we have Israel's next top geriatrics beefing in the squadron, going at it.
Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing.
Let's get ready to
moment in the history of our country. That when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan. Well,
dude, this is like a fucking. This is like a watching a cancer tumor face off against the cancer patient. That's what this whole debate was.
We left billions.
I mean, Biden is just he's hopeless. He's hopeless. I mean, just listen to his voice here. Listen to him talk, man.
Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody.
Shut up.
Damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president, they attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place. Number one.
Joey B sounds like when you leave the tea kettle on the stove for too long. I mean, it's really this guy, like, he's got a cold, okay, whatever. But like, you don't take a lozenge or something, motherfucker.
Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did.
He looks like an old dog looking down at his puke. Like, delicious.
To Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish. Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
I mean, I only know, I'm not going to comment on the political implications. I mean, we all pretty much agree that Dump Baby won this one hands down. And it's a shame, because it's like the Democrats, they're just like, their job is to lose, basically, because you need a loser so that fat people or hillbillies or whatever you want to call it, they have an excuse. Like these cocksucking small business owners, quote unquote, like a lot of them are very useful to society, but a lot of them just complain. And they find, and especially the boomers and shit, they find excuses to just fall back and be a dick. And like, oh, prices are going up, gas prices are going up. That's my excuse to not pay my worker enough. And then they'll complain about illegal immigrants. Like, motherfucker, you're the one hiring the illegal immigrants. Go fuck yourself.
Former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed.
I don't want to hear about fucking
he did nothing about
Israel Part 2. I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about the OG. Where's the... My favorite part of this debate, I didn't really watch it. My favorite part was when they were taking turns sucking Israel off. That's always a lot of fun. I mean, we might as well call ourselves the United States of Israel at this point. I mean, like, it would be criminal not to, in my opinion. And then, like, all the fucking Biden supporters have at this point is like, he's a convicted felon, bro. It's like, yeah, so is Lil Boozy. Okay? Like, I don't know if he is. Just insert rapper name here. That convicted felon means nothing. It means nothing at this point. We were founded by convicted felons, okay? Like, that's not really an argument. Especially for a felony, like, that we can't even seem to clearly define. Like paying off a porn star? Like, what? What? That's the best you've got? Are you shitting me, bro? These people are literally murdering Palestinians. They're committing genocide. They kill kids over brunch mimosas. And you're fucking telling me that you're mad over some guy getting his dick sucked by a slut. It's not.
Go on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say. But she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see.
Dude, all this guy does is bitch and moan about his own, like, I don't like this pity fest. Because at least when he was running against Hillary, man, Hillary was fun because Hillary was such a fucking cunt that every time Trump said something, it was automatically hilarious. The whole, like, if I was president, you'd be in jail. That was, like, such a body slam, dude. Like, that was peak nihilist entertainment. I remember the 2016 debates, bro. They were so fucking funny. But this is literally just elder abuse. This isn't even funny. This is past the point of being funny. It just ain't right. You know, you gotta call it out. It's sadist what they're doing to both of them, if I'm being honest. But, you know, at least Trump, somewhat cogent. Biden, what has he got? I mean, he couldn't even keep Roe v. Wade in place. And he's claiming he's going to bring it back. Motherfucker, you can't even get an erection. What are you talking about?
Bud?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up in the Capitol Hill.
This guy needs a fucking catheter to pee. I'm sorry, I don't mean that as a put down, but he should be in a nursing home. He looks lost, like he just wandered here off the set of The Walking Dead.
Number one, I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office.
Yeah, easy target. It's like I'm punching down at this point. Like he may be the president of whatever's left of this totally fucked nation, but that doesn't mean that I'm like punching up at this guy. I feel like I'm punching down. I feel like the bully here. Which is ridiculous because this guy is literally responsible for so many deaths around the world. I mean, who knows? We know. We have records of the voting for the Iraq War, voting. I mean, like, the receipts are all there. It's just one calamity after another. And he's a baby in that field. You know, he wants that power so badly. And he might get it again, but who knows? I don't mind Kamala winning because then at least I'll be able to jerk off to the State of the Union address for the first time. That's a lie, actually. I've always done that. You've got your kinks, I've got mine. Don't judge.
He sat there for 3 hours. 3 hours watching, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, he talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. But he went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court, and they said no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He did do a damn thing, and these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out, and now he says if he loses again, so the guy's gone when he gets his thoughts confused with the thoughts of his opponents, and he can't even. I mean, we've been saying this for his entire presidency, and I made a video like in 2019 or some shit, like saying this guy's never going to win. Well, here we are now, term number 2 potentially, and like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you honestly think he's going to make it another 4 years? I mean, come on. Like, you got to replace this guy with somebody. Like, replace him with a Roomba. Replace him with a robot. Like, whatever you got. Replace him with a fucking Goldman Sachs ATM.
Okay, you know the South Park the shit sandwich versus the onion ring. This is insane. What they're doing to Joe Biden. Have mercy. Jeez.
Such a whiner that he is, that there could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that, they saw them coming, and they left immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing, the Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now, let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office.
1,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing. By the way, we brought an awful lot of people. The whole idea of computer chips, we used to have 40% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest.
I can't even hear him. He's inaudible. He's inaudible. He sounds like my fucking AC vent. Listen to that. I know my studio is not quite set up here yet perfectly, you know, and I'm never gonna probably have the top line sound equipment. I gotta invest in a fucking Shure mic. Yeah, I'm busy, cocksucker. You know, fuck you. But like, you know, man, this guy, I mean, Trump doesn't even have anybody to debate. He doesn't have anybody to debate. It's like wrestling with a ghost.
Overseas and then bring home a product. So I went to South Korea. I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States. And guess what? Those fabs.
You know what, man? I hope Biden wins just so because I like a nice, quiet president. But he would have to survive the whole term, right? Because if Kamala or whoever else gets in, then it's not going to be so. It's going to be drama time. It's not going to. Oh, Lord. I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I've had some of my best years under Biden business-wise. I'm going to be honest. I mean, Trump was funnier meme-wise, but I just get sick of here. I can't stand listening to it. I really can't. I was never one for the jingoism, quite frankly. You know, I'm a classic flag burner, so it's not anyway. I have no stake in this. You know, this is Israel's move. This is Israel's election right here. Your vote doesn't count, and if you don't know that by now, you're just a sucker. You don't understand that democracy itself is a hoax. At least in this country. Maybe at first, sometimes in some situations it works for small towns and shit like that. Small towns, you can vote on specific policy. This is a million times removed from that. You're talking about layers of bureaucracy and spies and people who are not accountable to anybody but themselves. So what do you have here? You have candidates who represent the bureaucracy and don't represent you. So if a gas price shoots up every now and again, oh well, that must have been because of Joe Biden. That's not because of Joe Biden. You would be an idiot to believe that. Unfortunately, most Americans are. It would seem. But you know what?
They call that to build these chips. Those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for it.
Go through the first 5 questions, he couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests.
By the way, I'm not even going to edit this video because they're not, CNN. They're time wasters. They're wasting everybody's time. You can you can hear a little bit of space between the things that I'm saying, to give it a little more importance.
Physical exams every year, and we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health.
I promise you, between these two fuck faces, no wood. Zip, nada.
I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
This is like the most boomer thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, you're just bragging about your golf competitions on your own golf course. Wow, that's amazing, dude. Congrats.
Me to a golf match. He can't.
I mean, like,
hit a ball 50 yards.
Golf.
I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people.
Okay, this question, once again, is fucking useless. Virtually, you can shit on the candidates all day, but CNN, it's the journalists who are the real dividers, the more you think about it, because every question is a wedge issue. Abortion, is it a life? Is it a choice? It's both. We've known this from the start, and people don't. They'll fall for it, and this is the same thing. The 2024 election results, motherfucker, you had Hillary Clinton denying the results before. She wouldn't accept her results. She just took some hot sauce out of her purse and poured it into Charlemagne's eyes, and we were expected to clap and throw money at her. But now it's when the clown shoe's on the other foot, so to speak, figure of speech, but not really. It's just the real question here is who's going to help Israel more. Not who's going to help America. It's who's going to give more money to Ukraine. Who's going to give more money to NATO. Who's going to print more useless money and or siphon it. So you have the printing and then you have the siphoning. Whether through free market means and just selling dumbass products to dumbass people. Brought to you by Prime Energy Drink, by the way. See, I'm a dummy too. I'm just as dumb as the rest of them. You either have that or you have the taxation route where you're essentially saying, hey, it's not fair with these corporations. They need to be taxed more, which I agree with in theory. The problem is we never hear the argument from the other more rational direction of what about sales tax? What about income tax? What about inheritance tax? What about the private taxes that the corporations put on us? What about all these other unjust fees that get slammed on people for simply having needs and having children who have even more needs? It's like, well, how much should we help people? Because soliciting advice, whether it's solicited or is not going to cut it. You need action. You need people who take action in their lives and whatever it is they want to do. And I kind of went off on a tangent there, but let's see what he says.
People that went to the Capitol and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. his military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III.
Look, man, you can't argue with the strength of Trump comparatively. It's just, yeah, he's probably going to win. He's probably going to win. Well, they might have a little bump for Biden. They might give him a little shot of meth or whatever the high-ranking equivalent of that would be. They're going to inject him with a bunch of nootropics. There's nothing else to be said for Biden, man, for Uncle Joey. I mean, he's just I was calling him out in 2012 for being a creep, okay? And then it's like, oh, well, Trump. And this is the funny thing, right? These two candidates are so much alike, it's insane. You have racist, you have groper, you have They both have all that past on them, all that grime on them that, quite frankly, you need to be a politician in this country or in any country, if we're being honest. That's one of the laws of power, is just being a total unrepentant scumbag, you know. Kudos to Joe Biden for making it this far, but Obama really needs to pull a string out of his ass and come up with another more woke or less woke configuration of Joe Biden before it's too late, man, before he loses again and gets to buy another mansion. And
he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They let anybody do, and that's taking care of the
where's the section on Israel? They really don't.
Al-Baghdadi.
Hold on. I'm going to finish this off with the section on Israel because I want to just observe how ferociously both of these puppets are going to defend genocide.
And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are in their...
The former governor of Virginia, they're radical.
Security Council, straight through to the G7, to the Israelis, and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward, which has three stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas, number one. They're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened? In Israel, we're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic.
Yeah, I remember you were around when we destroyed Iran and turned it into a third world shithole after becoming a developed civilization. We remember, Joe. We remember. And now they're going to do the same thing to quote-unquote Israel, which is actually, look at a map from 1947. That's not a joke. Who are we kidding here, man? Whose pants are we shitting? Well, we already know the answer to that. This is Jake Jones Comedy, a.k.a. Jake Jones Politics, now, for the time being. Until next time, peace, suckers.